Welcome to Luxe Conversations with Jacqueline Chyi. And we have our exclusive guest here, Tiarra Williams, looking so amazing in that orange girl. I love
Thank
it, okay?
you.
She's
You
going to
are
be
as
talking to us
well.
today. Oh, sorry. I couldn't
I
hear
was
you.
saying you look good too.
Thank you, babe. We're back.
100 pounds, girl. Like, listen, your pictures, your videos, you motivate me on some of my off days, and I mean that. Yesterday, you put up a post and was like, "I know the girlies ain't gonna want to hear this, but baby, it's your routine." And I'm sitting there on the phone like, "It's my routine." Like, it's my routine. So like, just know you definitely you hitting people. You hitting folks.
Okay.
You're impacting. You're piercing out here. But
I
yes,
love it.
yeah. And like, that's what we're here for though. Like, we're here to like give those reminders to people who may be going through something similar to us. And like, you hear those messages right on time for you to know, like, this is not the time for me to get too comfortable in this setback. This is time
Right.
for me to get back up. So
Right. Absolutely. I love that you acknowledged my video because you know, in this coaching space, in this growing space, sometimes we feel like, at least I have felt that I have come to a place of stagnancy, and I'm
mhm,
like, where are the people at? You know, that
mhm,
want to grow. And you remind me that just because I may not be actively recruiting them, right? They're
mhm.
there.
Yes.
Those seeds are being planted. They're being inspired. They're being impacted. Everyone is not bold enough to type the comment and say, "Thank you, sis." Or everybody's
Mhm.
not, they're not ready to let the world know that they, are lacking in a certain area. So they look at it and they keep going, but it did something for them. And so I'm having to come to this space of like really digesting the mental strain that social media can put on you as a coach,
Yeah.
as just being a business owner in general, because it's things like that that motivate me to keep going. Because there are times when I feel like, am I talking to myself? Is anybody listening? But I
Mhm.
know they are. It's just that, of course, that's that human nature coming in. And, I would say imposter syndrome is definitely, this is my season right now of acceptance and eliminating imposter syndrome. And so in this season of growth, it's real uncomfortable. Like, I was
Yeah. Oh
comfortable
my
for a
God.
season. I was real comfortable for a season, and I was knocking it out. I was helping other people. I was doing this, that, and the third. I got the shaking and moving, and then I burnt out. Okay,
Yeah.
and that burned out turned into me having to like really ask myself what's going on here. And then now it's like, okay, you have to accept where you are.
Mhm.
Okay, you have to accept who you are.
Yeah.
You have to show up in that unapologetically. That's how you started this. That's how you're
Yeah.
going to keep doing it.
Mm.
Um, and like you said, when we talk about growth not being linear, it's so weird because it's like, it's really like this hill, this hilly valley that you go up and down and up and down, and you thinking like, dang, I'm at the top of the hill, y'all, and it's lit
Yeah.
up here. And
Okay.
then you start to go down that motherfucker, and you be like, God dang.
You be like, what happened?
And then you go back up it, and you like, oh shit, y'all, it's lit. Like, and then you go back down. It's like, man, okay, I gotta get
Yes.
used to this. This is gonna keep happening.
Yes.
And it's
Mm.
like, okay, when the growth happens, how do you know that you've grown? Like, like this is for the audience, really, because of course, everyone has a different. They have a different signal, I guess,
Yeah.
that tells them when they've grown, they have a different outcome. For
Mm-hmm.
me, it's confirmation of
Mm.
like what I've been striving towards, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'd say also that you know that you've grown when things start to become uncomfortable. Like, girl,
mhm.
because in this season, I'm absolutely like, I'm very uncomfortable as well. And I have been going through this thing where, like, when I experience negative emotions, I'm allowing myself to, like, welcome them more because I
Mhm.
used to be like, nope, where the positivity at? But that's not realistic. And so
Yes,
I'm
that's called
realizing,
toxic. You know what I learned? That's called toxic positivity. And I
girl,
was dishing out toxic
mm,
positivity like candy, okay?
yeah. And not even realizing that you were. You get what I'm saying?
No.
So I had to like come to terms with that. Like, you know what, baby, this ain't realistic. And everybody is not going to always experience that optimism that we want to feel. And so,
Mhm.
you know, like actually embracing my negative emotions and saying, okay, baby, why are we feeling like this? What
Mhm.
is the problem? Why are we feeling this emotion? And so it leads to like this deep self-reflection where you can kind of really like figure out the root of it. And so also I want to say that like not only will you be uncomfortable, but you'll just start to like want change. I'd say
Mhm.
that's also how you can tell that you're growing. But like the process of growth, if we could like put it in terms of like a plant, right? So
Mhm.
like the first thing that has to happen is the seed got to go in the ground and it got to be covered in darkness. So
Yes.
like you got to go through this dark phase that's going to get you at this breaking point where you're like, I have had it. And so it's going to feel dark. It's going to feel lonely. It's going to feel very, very scary as well. And so it requires sunlight, it requires water. So you have to like nourish yourself through that process, which is very difficult to do when you're not seeing the fruits of your labor right away. So like pouring into yourself is very much a requirement at that time. And then
Right.
over time, you will start to see it sprout. You'll start to
Right.
see the sunlight. So I would say you very much can relate yourself to like the process of something being rooted into the ground to grow. And growing is a very much long process. Like I've had a plant since last year and I have watched that plant like sprout. The plant was green, now it's really vibrant and like red and burgundy, and like just watching that grow, I have kind of related that to me as well. Um just in my process. But it's so uncomfortable right now because I'm knowing that there are some things that I'm going to have to let go of. And I'm really feeling like me not wanting to let go of some of them things is definitely stemming from fear.
Yes. Oh.
So I'm working through, girl, I'm working through that because like I'm realizing that fear has been keeping me in. I'm sorry, we got kids. But fear has been keeping me in bondage. And so I need to make space for something else and I need to like evict the fear. But that process is not easy as well.
You're absolutely right. What I'll tell you is right now, I guess we're aligned in our seasons of growth,
Mhm.
because I'm experiencing a lot of fear as well. And I just hear spirit telling me that I just need to jump. I just need to make the move, quote unquote, jump off the cliff, not in a derogatory way, but because that's where my blessings are waiting for me.
Yeah.
And the more I hold on to what I think I know and what I think is safe, the the more the more I continue to distance myself from what God has for me, right? And so
Mhm.
I had to come to a place of I'm not really able to just dive into it right now. I know myself, right? And so I talk to God and I'm like, God, I know this is what you want me to do, but I can meet you halfway on this one. Cause I can't, I can't bring myself to do it. Can we work it out? So, so I'm in this space of like, okay, well, I might not feel like I'm ready to take the leap, but I'm ready to take that step. in the right direction. And I just need you to maybe give me that nudge to actually take that leap, right? Because
Yeah.
if I take that step and, I feel like, okay, you got my hand, right? Then I will be more confident to take that leap. But right now, I'm so attached to this fear of, the unknown. Um,
Yes.
and so it's like okay, this is really a testament of faith right now,
Yeah.
but more than anything. And I'm the one that's always quick to tell people, like, right now you're not showing, your faith. We're supposed, you're showing up in a space saying that you're faithful, but you are acting the opposite of that. And
Girl.
so we have to remember that faith is something that we have to have even in the most uncertain moments of our
Mm.
lives. And sometimes we might have a little fear that's holding us back, but God is understanding. And I really like want people to understand, like, how understanding God truly is. Like, a lot of us have been taught this very monstrous story of how God is, and like, um, and it's honestly the complete opposite of the love that God truly shows to us, the grace that God truly shows to us. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And I was able to hear everything that you said too. So
Oh, okay. Yes. So it's like, in these times of fear, these are the times where we are the most open to receive if we allow ourselves to be, right? Or we can choose to be closed off and block it. And that's the thing about manifestation in a whole, is that you have to be open to receive in order to manifest. I call myself the manifestation mover, and that's because I've been able to manifest so many things in life, with God's, of course, help and guidance, and, you know, um, and just grace over my life. But I will say that in this season, my manifestations have been blocked because that fear, you know, that fear won't allow you.
first, you know what I
Yes,
mean? So like sometimes people need to see that.
yes, they
Like
do,
to know
because
that.
yes, it stops them from wanting to achieve their goals when they think like, oh, you have to have this, you got to do that, da, da, da. No, honey, the kids come with me to the gym sometimes. The kids might be on my back while I'm doing yoga. The kids
Mhm.
might be getting on my nerves while I'm trying to work on, a launch for my business. That is just a part of this process. That's a part of being a mom. And
Yeah.
honestly, I would rather them be next to me getting on my nerves than to be with somebody else, because at least I know in my space they're learning, they're
Yeah.
soaking in what I'm doing, they're a part of what I'm doing, essentially. So it makes me feel good, like, um because we spend a lot of time away from our kids already, you know
Yes. And
and
also, like, you just made me think about a conversation that was had recently, where we were talking about what we do for self-care and why some people don't feel like they should prioritize themselves. Because there was a point in time where I felt guilty not prioritizing myself. I felt like I shouldn't make time for myself because I was a mother, and I had to like work through that. And like I know
Mhm.
sometimes parents can have like that guilt on them, but like that's another reason why it's important for people to see you doing it. And also, you were saying that your kids are learning from that, and that's absolutely true, because some of us were raised in households where we didn't see our moms and dads like prioritizing self-care. And so I literally went back after having this conversation and I asked my mom, I said, what did you do for self-care like while I was growing up? Because I didn't see her do it.
Mhm.
And we had to have like this full circle moment of her really acknowledging that she didn't take care of herself the way that she wished that she would have. And so I then went and asked my daughter, like, what do you think that I do for self-care? And my daughter was able to blurt it out, like, you work out, you journal. And I'm so happy that she is picking up on that, because I'm hoping that in return she will do the same things for herself, and her
Absolutely.
kids, if she has kids, will be able to see her taking care of herself and the importance of that. So that's how we changing patterns out here.
Yes.
And also that fear, I think that we both, it's so wild how we could be two totally different people, but like in this realm experiencing the same things um, as one another. And this is probably something that's holding back people from their weight loss journey, or from getting that job, or for going after that career that they really, really want. You know, like this is, fear is a big thing, and it's not so easy to just get rid of, because like when you hear that voice, that negative voice, like, but what if you fail, or what if it doesn't work out? I know there are times when I post content and like I may get 3 likes on the damn thing, and I'm like, okay, I worked really hard on this, and you know, nobody is listening, or maybe, you know, nobody is. But I have to remind myself as well that like, if it's 3 intimate people who really received what I said, that's okay. I don't need 30 people or 300 or 3,000 people to confirm that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If you impact 3 people, you got to be okay with that, Tiarra. And so for us, you know, even if we literally got 1 intimate listener out of this conversation, then we've done our job. You know, but it's hard because we put that expectation on ourselves, or we want to see the fruits of our labor, girl. We want to see like that we are actually making an impact in the community. But yeah, there's some people that are just silently listening or silently holding on to hope, and this could be something that could change their viewpoint of themselves. So, girl, I feel you so much, and it's hard to even admit that. It's hard to admit that that I'm fearful of some things, but we've had to go through some things, and like that experience, it's taught us, but it's also made us fearful, because we want to protect ourselves from failure, but really failure is part of the formula. So, girl.
Say it's part of the formula. My friend sent me a message because I told him about me being fearful, and he said it's a false experience appearing real. That's what he said. A false experience
Appearing real. I have not ever heard that before.
Yes. So basically, it's like it's not real. So, you know, and it might be it might have been a couple of different words, but that's basically what it said. Okay. And what I got from it is that it's really a figment of our imagination, and we know this as coaches. We know this, right? But fear is natural. Fear is something that keeps us alive. Fear is something that protects us. So if we were, you know, to say, oh, we're going to live a life without fear, like that's a lie. You know, we're going to be having moments where we are fearful. The difference between us and other individuals is that we push through that fear. Right. And sometimes it might take a little minute to push through that fear. But we're going to push through it because that's just a pattern of who we are and who we've chosen to become. And that's what has gotten us to where we are now. Right. And so what I learned about fear can be used as fuel, right? I use fear as fuel to get me this far, not intentionally, but that is what fueled me to get to where I'm at, is my fear of not wanting to live a mediocre life, right? My fear of not fulfilling my purpose. Part of my journey is based upon fear, right? But fear is not the only part of the formula, right? Fear is a portion of it, and fear is an emotion that we can control if we tap into, you know, ourselves, right? I'm all about emotional intelligence, emotional control. most of us are experiencing the things we're experiencing in life is because we are not emotionally stable.
Yeah.
We allow our emotions to control us, so then it stunts our growth. So then when we let fear in, we can't move forward because now we are emotionally paralyzed because of fear. And when you go through that emotional paralysis, you can't do anything. You're not
Right.
going left, you're not going right. You're sitting here asking yourself what to do next. Like the answer is just going to appear in front of you. And that's just not how things work. The way you find out what happens next is by moving in that direction. And that's what
That's
I've had to learn and teach others is that you have to move in the direction that you want to go to. My favorite coach, Coach Stormy, always says, put yourself where you see yourself, right? If you
mm,
see yourself there I went and looked at some cars the other day because there's a car. I want a new car, and I went and looked at it. I want a new house. I went and looked at these houses in a neighborhood that I would find ideal for myself, putting myself where I see myself. Right? It's fearful though, right? To be
yeah.
able to put yourself in those spaces and then also think, dang, like how do you get here, and
Yeah.
like. Do I fit in this environment?
Mm,
Like, wait, like the anxiety, because let's not
yeah.
pretend like we don't have anxiety. Like I might be a
Girl.
coach,
Yeah.
but I get anxiety. I still have like my moments where I'm not so much a people person. But like I said, the difference is that we still show up regardless.
Yeah.
And you are you are only able to achieve what you can visualize. So that's the way I
Yes.
push through. As I visualize myself already pushing past it, and then I just walk into that. And so by the time that the fear and anxiety done hit me, I done already walked through it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I guess what's it called? You're beating it. You're beating the fear because you've already seen yourself there. So the emotions and stuff are gonna come, but you are already putting yourself in the position that it's happened. So therefore, you can go towards it and you can achieve it. And that's really what manifestation is. It's just visualizing yourself where you see yourself and then moving towards that. And God is going to place the little bits and pieces into your life to get you there, right?
Yeah.
You got to speak it, think it, believe it. And when it comes to growth is allowing fear to be the nudge and letting the journey lead you the rest of the way. You know what I mean? Because I would say, would you say that you started this journey from a fearful place in general?
Girl, when I tell you, I started it from a fearful place, a lost place, very confused. I think when I really truly started taking this journey serious, it was because I could not. I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're okay. I love
But when
it.
I,
It's okay.
girl, I'm like,
Don't think, listen, girl, I'll be telling my kids you don't want Mommy Monster to come out. I turn into Mommy
I need to
Monster.
use that,
Okay.
girl. I need to use. It's okay. It's okay. But I started it definitely from a fear standpoint and also from a loss standpoint because I wasn't able to really identify who I was in that certain time, and that bothered me. I'm like, man, you don't even know who you are, and that was a very scary process. But I love that you said that you like to use fear as fuel because it's so important for us to do that, like, because perception is reality, and like, so something negative, like you're a negative emotion that you're experiencing, you can look at it as something like a big boulder block, or you can look at it as something that can move you in the right direction. So like
What's
I feel
strong
like
enough to stop you is strong enough to push you forward.
absolutely. And so I think that even millionaires, billionaires, I believe that they all have experienced some sort of fear, or fear has been like a stem to their process. And even like Sade, I've heard Sade talk about how like before she performs, she has this experience of just enough fear. And when she said that, I was just like, I felt that, because first of all, when I see her perform as an icon, I'm looking at her like, what? You fearful? You feel fear like through your process, as beautiful as your voice is, or as beautiful as your performances are to me. But like she said, that is just enough. So being able to take that control over your emotions and just fine tune the fear, like
Mm-hmm.
not let it be too loud to where it's just so loud that you can't hear what it is that you
Mm-hmm.
really want to manifest in your life, but fine tuning it enough because you know that it's a part of the process, and you know that you need a little bit of it, but allowing it to be like just enough to motivate you to really go out and into the world and just do your fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm sorry.
No, you
I
all
wasn't
right.
trying to be weird.
Oh no,
But
you
it was
fine.
11:11, so I had to take that screenshot real fast.
Oh no, you fine. But yeah, so just fine tuning that fear throughout the process. Like if you feel like it's too much, like really just learning how to turn it down, like turn it down a couple of notches so that you can still be pushing yourself in the right direction. And like growth, things like faith, these words are so pretty and they just sound so light and delightful. And like, just like saying them, it's like, oh yes, I want growth. I want to grow. But that process of that heel, that up and down, that uncertainty, it's really a ugly ass process when you like
Mm-hmm.
are experiencing growth. And I don't think a lot of people talk about it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just seems like it's just this thing that's just supposed to happen. But really, like some people, there unfortunately is some people who just don't even make space for that. Like there's some people
Right.
who are so stagnant and like there's nobody that can help them with that but themselves.
Right.
And like what growth really looks like and what having faith really looks like is like hanging onto that cliff with blinders on, hearing a voice telling you to just jump and just let go. And you hold on for dear life because you don't feel nothing but air under your feet. And you don't know if it's a trampoline at the bottom or if there's people there to catch you. You really just don't know what the result is going to be. So,
Right.
like, I feel like growth is that. That's what growth looks like. It looks like that.
I love it. I love it. I love it here. And I really do feel like you're absolutely right. I think sometimes we think of it as something, like you said, pretty and polished and I guess I, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no such thing, and we have to be willing to go through the the journey of growth with a can-do mindset, and that is really something that you have to build within yourself, because especially as Black women and Black men, we have, somewhat of a disadvantage when it comes to believing in ourselves and um, having that can do mindset, because some of us are told that we can't from a very young age. And
Mm-hmm.
it hurts my heart because although I've been through a lot of things in life, I have a very supportive family, um, in the sense of believing in me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I didn't get that lack from my family. I got that lack from outsiders, you
Girl,
know?
society will
So,
eat you alive, girl.
yes. So
Mm.
so as I began to grow in my journey, I began to have a newfound appreciation for, growing out of a victimization mindset and realizing that I can't blame anybody else for what's going on in my life but me. Like at the end of the day, um people are only going to do what you allow them to do, and that sounds so easy to understand. It's so
Mm-hmm.
simple, but it is not. It takes some time for your mind to wrap your head around the fact that you truly teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself, by how you allow them to treat you from the get-go. And in the growing process, there's a lot of pain.
Girl.
And I know
It
we're going
really
over.
is. It is. Like, you know, I've had to let go of like some friendships that I feel like, I'm not even going to say I outgrew. I'm just going to say that there are people that I literally grew in a different direction
Right.
from. And that hurt. Like,
Mm-hmm.
one of my close friends, I was best friends with her for over 10 years. And at this space in my life, we're not even on speaking terms. We're not beefing or anything like
Right.
that. But like, and I wish her well, and I still love her very much. But like, I never thought that life would be without her. I couldn't see myself doing life without her. You know what I
Right.
mean? And like at this space in my life, you know, we just grew in different directions. Our conversations were not the same, and that hurt. Also, realizing some things about myself and taking accountability in the role that I played in some of the things that have girl.
That's okay. Mine would be in my way too if my husband wasn't here, so don't feel bad.
I'm like, OMG. I forgot what I was even saying, friend. I'm so sorry
You
about that.
said that you had to take accountability and friends.
Yes. So like taking accountability in the role that I was playing in the process, that stung. Like, it's not an easy thing to like look at yourself and be like, you got some toxic traits, or you know, you definitely played a role in why that relationship lasted so long, or you know, you kind of accepted that. Like, that, saying that kind of stuff to yourself, like sometimes it stings real bad. And like, even in that friendship that, you know, grew in a different direction, I played a role in that too. Like, there were ways that I could have been a better friend or a healthier, you know, like just a more of an inspiration to her, because like in friendships, that's what I want. So I could have been that. I could have been better. So, you know, like, it's hard for people to take that accountability sometimes, or it's hard for people to like even be open to really like the thought that they play a role in some of the things that have happened in their lives. I'm not saying in all situations, because there are some times where, you know, people have hurt us and there was absolutely like no reason that we deserve those things. But like, there are also some relationships like that, that you play a role, or some situations where you play a role, and so it's hard to give yourself grace in that like reflection process of that. So grace and self-forgiveness is also a part of this season for me as well, because there are some times where I try to pick back up some of the bullshit that has happened. Like, man, if I would have just done this better. And it's like, we can't sit there. We can't sit in that seat and really like grieve that process anymore, because that's a part of you now. It's a part of your experience. And the beautiful thing about that is there's a lesson in that. And so we just move forward. And that's really what growth looks like too. That acceptance. So
Absolutely. So I do have one more question for you, and it is, what are you doing right now in your life to manifest your Luxe life and your Luxe body? I see you working. I see you doing your workouts and your little funny videos, and I love them. They be having me dying, okay?
thank you, girl. Girl, I be complaining through those workouts, but like, okay. So what I'm doing to manifest my Luxe life, sis, is I'm nurturing myself. I'm nurturing my mind. I'm nurturing my body. I'm nurturing my spirit. And I do my best to balance that. And balancing it doesn't mean that everything always looks equal. Sometimes I'm pouring more into my spirit if I check in with my spirit and it's not in the right space. Sometimes I'm pouring more into my body. But that routine that you talked about is so important, and really embracing that and not falling too far from that. So I make space for myself by writing. I make sure that I take the time to pray. I make sure that I take the time to really show up when it comes to my physical and work out. I also meditate. I think that meditation has been a big, big part of me being able to like step out of this world and step into another world that I have created. Oh, excuse me. That I have created, and it's a beautiful thing. It really allows me to just take my mind and give it a time to rest, to not think about anything that I'm worried about, not think about my bills, not think about what's due, not think about anybody else, but just in that moment, just to kind of like give my mind like a little rest and reset time. So I meditate, and while I'm meditating, I do allow myself to like welcome in those thoughts of me being successful. I write, I also vision board. I think that vision boarding is wonderful because like I've been able to look back at my vision board and see things that I'm doing or see things that I should be doing so that I can continue. By the way, is that too loud? Because he is right here by my damn
No,
window.
you're fine.
I just
You're
want to
fine.
punch him because I asked him could he come back.
It's okay.
But yes, and so really just being open to it, being open to this not being the end all, being open and welcoming to what it is that I really, really want for myself from a financial standpoint, from a love standpoint, spirituality wise, being open to it being absolutely more. So when you're open to it, you make space for it and you welcome it and you make room for those kind of things. And I think the most important part is me giving myself like that time. Because patience is not one of my strengths. Being patient through the process is actually something that is very hard for me because I've always wanted things now, now, now. And I would say welcoming patience in my life in this season is also a way that I have been like manifesting the life that I want, knowing that in my 30s, I still have time. In my 40s, I will still have time. And in my 40s, I'm hoping that the things that I'm doing now, I will be able to see the fruits of that and be growing in a whole nother direction, you know?
Right.
So this knowing that this process is continuous and taking my time and doing the work, I would say that is how I am manifesting my Luxe life. And I know I'm gonna get it, and I know you are gonna get it too, sis. We're gonna be watching each other just level up through this process. And even when we're not leveling up, I think that those are great opportunities for us to just enjoy the coast or enjoy where we're at and being like, you know what, I kind of like this. Let's just feel the vibes of like right where we're at right now and be grateful, have that body positivity, have that love for ourselves, and really just like appreciate the progress that has happened in this time frame. And when we in the setback, we're gonna figure out how we're going to set up the next thing. And
Say
you
when
talked
we
about like a
silent.
burnout too, girl. And like when you said something about a burnout, I felt the spirit telling me that you're creating a new flame. So I didn't want to forget to tell you that.
Oh, thank you.
That burnout happened because you're getting ready to create a brand new flame. And so that brand new flame is going to be on fire. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be stronger, more fierce. Okay. Like,
I appreciate it. You gonna make me cry? I'm gonna cry, baby.
I'm so proud of you though. Like we've watched each other like literally from kids like to now. And like
I know, right? It's crazy. I went all the way to Florida, came all the way back here, and now we're here. And you know what? Life is just has an amazing way of reconnecting you with people who you like. Honestly, I was best friends with your cousin, but it's crazy. Like I never really I don't know where you live, like, if, because we lived in Huber.
Mm-hmm.
But like we never connected like that. Like, I mean, we see each other, but it's just crazy because I mean, life just has a way of putting you in a place where, okay, I need this right now. Like, I need to be connected with this person, and we can pour into each other. I'm in a season of where I listen, listen. It gets like that. It be like that sometimes. And
I'm like, oh my gosh, the one time, and I even warned the kids, like, listen, I
they
am
don't
going to be
care.
doing something very important. Don't bother me. I need y'all to not be too loud. Like, I had this whole conversation with these little kids, and what they do, they do the complete opposite. But
Mm-hmm.
I have so been looking forward to this conversation too, because you have been like a motivating factor for me through my process. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to like see other people wanting to flow into their greatness. And like, I don't know, I just have such a good vibe. I have such a good vibe and such a good feeling about like where we're going, and like the
Yes.
uncertainty, like, woo, I don't know what this is gonna look like in 5 years or what in 10 years, like not knowing is like it's scary, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's a part of the process. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's an
And
ingredient.
just
So
and
to
when you know that you have favor, like regardless of what it looks like in 5 to 10 years, you know it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be more than what you could even imagine. You just
Mhm.
gotta let it happen.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
just
letting
letting
it
it.
happen.
Just letting it happen, and just like trusting God though, that He like is not ever gonna fail us. And like that's one thing that I can say that's absolutely a fact today, is that you have never been through something that you haven't gotten through.
Mm-hmm.
And same here.
Mm-hmm.
God has gotten me through every single trial, every single tribulation up to this point. And so up to this point, I should have just enough faith in you too, that He is not going to fail us through the process. He didn't just say, all right, I'm going to drop Jacqueline off right here and that's it.
Right.
Baby,
Figure it
yeah.
out, sis. Yeah.
Solutions, lessons, everything is like flowing even in this part. And like, I'm going to tell you something real quick that happened the other day. Girl, I have been doing my best to be intentional about opening my Bible more. And like, I pray all the time, or I'll use the Bible app, but it's just a little bit different in my personal opinion to like make sure that I'm intentionally opening up the word to like see what it is that's like the message for me. And so this day in particular, it was pulling on me real tough to open up my Bible. And when I opened it up, girl, I found a note that I wrote myself 10 years ago. And it was a reminder to open up this certain Bible verse. It was like, make sure that you look at this Bible verse. And so when I opened it up and seen, because I do date a lot of stuff, and I do that purposely too, so that I can just kind of like be like, damn, in 2018, that's how we was feeling. Like I
Yes.
like doing that, because that's also like
Yes.
a part of journaling that helps you to see just how much you've grown.
Yes.
So I'm like, 10 years ago, I wrote myself this note. And when I looked at the Bible verse, it was just what I needed that day, girl. It was just what I needed that day. And I said, how good is God that He knew that I, 10 years ago, would need to give my 10 years older self this message on this particular day. And so He is with us. He knows what's going to happen, and He's working things out in the spiritual realm that we can't even see, even when we don't know
Absolutely.
what the hell going on and
Yep.
why it looks so rough. But the God that we serve, though, He is that bomb to where He knows what our needs are before we even know what our needs
Mm-hmm.
are.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. I love that. I have moments like that so so often myself. And like I've always been big into writing things down, and like you said, dating things, and it's just very, very confirming when you open it up and you see it, or you said you were going to do something and you may be having the day where you feel like a failure. You feel like you haven't accomplished anything. You open something up or you look at something, you're like, dang, okay. I said I was gonna do this. This was my 5-year plan, and I done checked off a whole bunch of these things over here. I may have a few changes to make, but I did what I said I was going to do, and I wasn't even looking at it. And that's just the power of writing things down. Like, people don't really understand it. I know some people are afraid of journaling. So they say they don't want to feel the feelings that come with writing things down, but write it down. Let the emotions pour off the paper. You got to let it out somewhere, because guess what? If you don't pour it onto that paper, you're going to pour it onto somebody else.
Girl, that's a word.
You dang gone right. They gonna pour it on to somebody else, and you wonder why don't nobody want to be around you, because you are a ticking time bomb, and you don't have any type of chill. Okay.
Girl,
but that is all I'm gonna say, because we have gone like way over. But I kind of figured we would, just because of our energy anyhow.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want our audience to know before you leave, and like how can they connect with you outside of Luxe Conversations with JC?
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for having me. I want to say that I'm so grateful to be like a part of this today. You can find me and join the Growth University community, join the clan. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and I am on Facebook. And these are areas where I post inspirational messages. I'll post positive quotes. I'll post what I'm doing. And the goal of that is to just connect with you all. But my DMs are open on each and every platform. But you can find me. I'm Growth University on TikTok. I am Growth University on IG and on Facebook. And yeah, like if you're interested in personal coaching on one-on-one sessions, I do have some openings. So please make sure that you hit me up about that. I am running some specials on my courses, and be on the lookout for my podcast. I'll be posting information about that on all of these platforms as well. So thank you again, Jacqueline. I appreciate you. I knew we was gonna go over too, girl, because like you have great energy.
It's 111 again.
Just so
I'm
relatable. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I knew that we was gonna go over too, girl, because we just so relatable and we do vibe so well. But I'm so happy that I've been able to do this with you today.
Yes, I'm happy too. And like I said, I want to have you back once I get things situated. I want to do like a in-person type of vibe, because like I kind of wanted to give like maybe get some wine and like just like have like a girl time and just kind of record it, like whatever the conversation brings about. I kind of want to give some like bonus episodes like that where it's just like free, you know what I mean? Like this is free as well, but I mean like, all right, maybe the internet didn't know we were going to talk about this today, but it needed to be said.
Yes. It's flowing. So I'm totally down for that. I plan on having you on my pod as well. So yes, I'm just excited. We gonna see where things go for each other. And I also think that once we follow up, I think it'd be good for us to talk about what season we're in at that point. So
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what my next thing is, let me see. Oh, I just lost my train of thought, y'all.
It's okay. I think we're about to close out. Because I told people to find my platform and all that.
Okay. So you can find Tiarra at Growth University on all platforms. It's going to be linked in the comment section, of course, along with, ways that you can connect and contact me. I am in the process of relaunching my website right now, and it's Manifest Lux with JC, and also launching my supplement line. So as Tiarra said before, I have a lot of things going on myself, but my goal is to empower men and women all over the world, all walks of life, to just be great, you know, to rise into their most highest self, walk in authenticity proudly, and just be that girl or that guy that they have always desired to be. You know, my
Yeah.
target audience, of course, is women, but I feel like the guys need the love too. This conversation will definitely do them some justice as well.
Yeah.
And you can follow me on all platforms as well at Jacqueline Chyi or manifestlooks.jc. Um, we also have, Tiara doesn't know this, but I am also starting a Barbie glow up service where I'm doing the detox wraps, flexibility training, and strength training. And I'll also be doing a Barbie Fit 5-day fitness and wellness challenge. And you know, I had to get on the Barbie wave while I
Okay.
can.
That's actually
Okay. And so I
wonderful.
will be dropping that on Monday. You guys will have all week to sign up for it. It is only $10, y'all. So I'm in this space where I really want to cater to my audience that wants to work with me, but I guess my prices, my coins that I'm asking for is a little bit too much. So I am going to be providing you guys opportunities to work with me, get that, you know, motivation that you need, that so that you can manifest those coins, so that you can build yourself up to be able to invest in yourself, right? So
Yeah.
it's $10 for 5 days. We gonna Barbie it out, okay? Because y'all
I
know at
love
the
that.
end of the day, I'm a
Girl, count
Barbie.
me the hell in. Shit.
Period. Okay. So we are going to close out with that. And I just want to say I love you guys. I want you to always